Hey everyone, Obsidian here to welcome you to Wildcard. This collectible card MOBA has been making the rounds in the wild, even recently popping up at Level Up Expo over this last weekend. In case you missed out on the action, I've got you covered with a peek at this fun new hybrid game. A few disclaimers before we get started. This game is in the alpha stages and is constantly evolving. So, game footage featured here won't be final, however, it is still a good basic representation of the typical gameplay and loot. Speaking of, every game starts with this champ select. Here, you lock in which unique champion you'd like to use, and then choose from the decks of summons you've made. Once you're locked in, you're all set. There's a lot of info on this screen, so before I send you to the wolves, let me break it down. Here's your health bar. Pretty standard, although you can be overhealed and overshielded in this game. You can also regenerate lost health while outside of combat. The slots underneath your health are wildcard buffs, the opportunity to grab which is represented by this timer. Rush the objective to claim the buff, which affects your whole team by the way, so it doesn't matter which one of you grabs it. And here's your goalie's health bar. You can think of it like the last turret before gaining access to the Nexus. Defeating the goalie brings out the goal, which is shielded. You'll have 30 seconds to do as much damage to the shield as you can before the goalie respawns. The goalie's death and rebirth wipes out nearby summons, and while the goalie's alive, shield damage to the goal is steadily regenerated. Plan your assaults accordingly. These are your abilities in Ultimate, which vary by champion. I'll be releasing a general and champ breakdown video later, so stay tuned. And here's your hand, comprised of the decks of cards you chose before the match. Below that is how much mana you have to summon these cards. And lastly, the match timer, which seems pretty obvious except for the fact that there is overtime in this game, during which the goalies can leave their posts to assault the enemy goal. So don't forget to watch the clock. Without any more bluster, let's get into the match. So right off the bat here, we are going in with an opening gambit of Spored and Furble to taunt enemies and make them flee. And Furble will summon Trooplets to even bolster our forces some more. I also summon a Buckshot for critical damage, and throw my little bear buddy Burr out to get some damage as well. And so we're overwhelming them during this opening gambit. As you can see, we're doing a lot of damage to the champions themselves, much less the summons that they have. But they do manage to get a smite off to stifle our wave. Now, noticing they're pretty low, I'm going in to try to finish the deal. However, this opposing Bolgar gets away using the air vent very smartly to literally sail across the whole entire field. So we're going to have to back up here as our push has been quelled. And as you can see, the goalie doing a lot of damage there to ensure that. So it's a little bit of a reset as the first wild card becomes available. And now we're focusing our attention on that. Now this wild card will give us a buff that will last the whole rest of the match. And as you can see here, I do get kind of stuck. I don't know what happens here, but I break it with my dash. I get stuck in the environment somehow. Like I said before, this game is in alpha stages, so little tiny glitches like that may or may not occur. But they do have a known issues page that they are using to track those things. So we corner this enemy Bolgar, and my Ragnar breaks away to try to clear the wave and create an opportunity for us up there. And I continue to apply the pressure until he backs up into the goalie. And I'm not trying to get smashed to death by that goalie, so I'm out. While I'm retreating, I notice that our own goalie is under attack, so I take the air vent to get on stage and help defend it here. Because Bolgar is kind of more bulky, more tanky, more defensive in that regard, so I do like to play him close to the goalie if I can, unless there's an opportunity for me to push forward. So I do send Burr out there and get another Buckshot as well as a Cactus King to kind of bolster the push here, because he does throw little tiny Cactus from his head to have some more minions there. We're doing some really good damage on the goalie, as you can see it piling up over the left, but we do get distracted by that, and they do get another wild card buff. Now the buffs that they get, this lasts for the whole match with the whole team, so it doesn't matter which one of your members grabs it, it'll apply for both of you, and you can have up to 5 of those as of this current build here. So I do notice that the shield is down. I'm going to try and pass through the enemy team with my Goret, do a little bit of damage, but then our goal is also open, and the enemy Bolgar is headed here himself. I'm going to summon a Spurred to kind of intercept this wave so that we minimize the push onto our goalie. We unfortunately aren't able to capitalize much on the enemy goalie being down. Okay, here we see an Infernus and a Gort really trying to make a big push here. So I'm going to go and intercept that. They have a Jazz and a Slow Call as well. A lot of big, powerful summons. And you can see the goalie is taking big damage from that. I'm also low on health, so I'm not sure if I can fight this. We do have Bolgar and Locke both on my case. So I try to get some space with my knockback Log Zuka. Unfortunately, they do close in and seal the deal, leaving our goal open to take a smorgasbord of damage. However, the goalie does die, which rids their push of the minions they had. So it's just them doing the damage, and I did manage to summon that Cacta King before I died, who was then throwing the Cacta Crew to help defend. We also have a Volcrab fighting on our behalf, getting rid of that Parakeet, or Pyrokeet rather. So this defense is pretty done. I noticed that the enemy Locke is going for this Wildcard low on health, so I'm going to apply some pressure here with my Florifant and Burr to finally claim a Wildcard for my own, because our team definitely needs a buff to make up for the time that we lost. However, Locke does come back after fully healing in the blink of an eye and steal that from beneath my feet. So sad. We have quite a bit of mana here, so we go back to defend. We're summoning a Brock and a Vita Drop to do some lifelink damage and kind of heal our friend. I'm going to quash this wave push here. I'm going to drop back to defend though because they do have more on the field. I'm going to try and overheal with my Lump, but I'm a little bit too late. It does knock out some minion wave on the enemy team though, so, you know, a little trade doesn't hurt anybody. Bird doing some work on the left lane there, as well as our fellow player who is playing Ragna. Now it's an all-out brawl for this wild card because I think both of us know we need to get something going. And we finally snag one for ourselves, this one being the, I believe it's called the Astral Reduction, which reduces or which increases our mana production. As you can see now, our mana is supercharging. We are sitting at 9. We went from 0.6 to 1.1. We're going to summon a Gort here to knock back and clear this lane. Summon a Spurred as well. And a Buckshot to really get this push going. Buckshot does critical damage to things that are standing still, so as long as things are contesting Gorit, he'll be able to back that up. Now, we do get some knockback fall damage on the enemy there with our Werebear ultimate. And we do knock them out that way, so I thought that was really cool. Wildcard is now wide open for me to take. I do have Brock for reinforcement. With some help from our Dragon Friendo back there. Buckshot getting a beacon in the distance. We do have our second Wildcard buff, which is our Heroic Vitality. This gives us extra health by 50 points. So now we've gone from 400 to 50, or 450 rather. And we're able to get this push on the enemy goalie. I see the enemy Bolgar pushing forward, and so I try to get in on this Locke who was low on health earlier, but he's got some really good cards in his deck, and he's able to lifelink out heal me, so I have to back up from that. Now he does try to press me, but I did reserve a dash to be able to get away, and I'm going to use this air vent in combination with a normal jump to sail across the map and get away to safety, because I do regenerate health while outside of combat. Now the Locke is going to use this opportunity to try to go after the wild card, and at this point I'm content to give it to him because the shield is down and we have quite a bit heading over there, so I'm just going to hang back and defend the shield with my champion body while Ragna and my summons go forth and work on that enemy shield there. Now we do have that faster charging mana as well, so I'll be able to defend this pretty well. Now they are pressing forward here, and I do notice they have a huge wave, and I do have a Gore in my hand, but I do want to try and throw these lesser bodies out there because I also know that my goalie's coming back in 10 seconds, and this huge wave is about to be annihilated by the goalie respawning again, because remember, as I said before, that is a feature. So I'm using myself as bait, while Ragna on the other end is dealing major damage to the enemy shield. Our goalie comes through, wipes the wave, and I try to distract them a little bit more so that Ragna can finish the deal on that goal over there. And she's scoring now. The enemies noticed it just the last moment, but it's too late. We already got the point, and we win. All right, y'all, and that is a game of Wildcard. Now, these are the stats at the end of the game. This is probably, I think, my third game overall. So, you know, I tried to play more conservatively. As you can see, there's some stats up there that are a little bit underneath the enemy teams who are probably veterans at this point. But you know what? Stats don't matter and results do. So we got that dub, and I'm in love with this game. So that's going to do it for now. I know there was a lot going on in that video, but do not worry. I will be releasing some champ and summon video highlights and breakdowns soon. So stay tuned, y'all. I want y'all to be at the forefront of everything going on. So I'm going to make sure to get those to you. As well, you can opt in on Steam if you'd like to try out the game for yourself. They do have weekly playtests at the end of every week. So be sure to check that out, wishlist the game, and join the Discord to keep tabs on everything going on. Till the next time I see y'all, which hopefully will be in the fray, take care. And if not, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.